Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to PSGL, the PSTS Season 31 for the F3 Division, round number 5 at Japan. I am your commentator, IRL Neon, or as Jared Fosbury. I am on my own today. There's no OAP, Mr. Soja Sohaug, but he will be tuning in the stream maybe later on today, at the end of the race, maybe. But right now, though, I'm going to give a shout out to our sponsor, GT Omega. I'm going to give them a shout out for today, and hopefully stay with PSGL for a very long time. And if you do want to get a discount, just type PSGL in their chat and you'll get a 5% discount from it. As right now we only have 16 cars at the moment. We are expecting 18 today. Not a full grid, unfortunately, but 18 is still a great number to see, and see if we can see Lewis Curtis finally get a victory in the Alfa Romeo, or will Shane yet again take another victory, or even Marlon in the Mercedes, as he's looking very strong. The final couple of rounds he's doing very well. As now we will go over the standings. So the Drivers' Championship then, Shane in the lead. He won the first 2 rounds and won Mexico, so he's won 3 rounds altogether. He DNF'd in Belgium. Now, he was looking strong in Belgium in quali, but he had a bit of a crash in turn 1 with the Ferrari, who just lost complete control and just ran into him, and unfortunately retired. It could have been 4 wins. Unfortunately, he didn't get that chance, and Marlon took victory at Belgium. And yet again, as I've been saying about Marlon doing very well, after round 4, first round he only scored 4 points, second round he scored 0 altogether, and then obviously round number 3 he took the victory and took second in Mexico. So he's been doing quite well with the Mercedes package, only 16 points off the leader at the moment. And then we're going to count in Frenz. He's third in the championship right now with 26 points. He's scored points every round and had a podium in Austria, but hasn't been on the podium since. Did take pole in Miami, but unfortunately didn't convert that to a win. And then a very surprising driver who's surprised us all as a reserve, Tino Verlocken, currently 4th in the championship, 25 points. Looked like he was going to get second in Mexico, but he had a bit of contact with, I believe, the Red Bull and his teammate, and got a bit of damage, which in the end only be able to score in 1 point. And he's had 2 podiums so far, second in Austria and third in Belgium. So he's very happy with his results so far, as he's 5 second he got at Belgium did get removed after it was an illegal overtake from France on the safety car. Now we'll go on board with the constructors then at the moment. Alpine are currently leading with 53 points. Mercedes, though, not that far behind, only 3 points. They've got 50 altogether. Red Bull are in third with 30. And then we have Alfa Romeo with 19, Williams with 18, and AlphaTauri with 17. And then Aston Martin with 16, very close, the battle for 4th or even 3rd if they start getting a wiggle on to try and catch up. And then we have the McLaren and the Haas, 14 points for the Haas with Edward and Cameron, 11 points for McLaren, and Ferrari at the back with 8 points altogether. But every team has scored points so far this season, which is amazing to see. Who is going to keep the momentum going? Is it going to be Marlon, or is it going to be Shane? Or will it be any contenders waiting in the background, having a poor start at the start of the season to maybe come back at the end? We have seen Jabraka do that, but we'll have to wait and see for that. We should be going very shortly. It's almost 8 o'clock. We have 17. So I believe we are missing a Williams now. Who is meant to be in the Williams? I believe that's Jax. I think he isn't making it today. And he's not making it as well. That will be a shame. A shame with Dustin in the Ferrari. So we'll check then. Have we been ordered to go? No, not yet. So formation snap is still off. There's still apparently a glitch. But hopefully it will be fixed soon. Because it's no fun about the formation snap, especially everyone taking it cautious with cold tyres. There's Noah. It won't be racing until that. It's a shame then for him, as he hasn't got his PS back. Yeah, so we should still... Who are we missing? Jax is meant to be here, so that's who we are missing, but we have 18 now. Is that Jax joining the lobby? Yes, Jax has made it, so we do have people turn up, just needs to select his car. It looks like we are ready to go then. At Japan, will the weather be clear, or will there be a threat of rain? As at the moment, there's been no rain yet for the F3 tier. However, for my division in PS F13, there's been rain every race, so maybe F3 can get a bit of rain today, spice up the action. But we are now going into qualifying then. Jax has left, hopefully he can rejoin, as we are loading in. 20 seconds remaining. Cameron's also left as well. Is there an issue with lobby, or...? Looks like there was a problem with the lobby then, and we are going to get a possible restart. Yeah, it looks like we are then, so that is a shame. The skies are clear for quali, but I don't know if that will change in the actual session. Pismo has got Marlon's car. Eh? How's that possible? Positive Marlon was in. Well, that is a shame then, so we are going to have a new session. I think people need to start turning up a tiny bit early if they can. If they can't make it, then I'd say the host or the team admin's just got to give them a couple of minutes so they actually have loaded in. Due to that glitch there, whatever happened. Oh, for new lobby then is somebody has gone out. So he's the 20 points leader. For some reason it will not. Ah, there we go. Just watch him round. I'll wait for a new invite. Take the hood off. Just make sure we have got a new invite. Have we been given the new invite yet? Yes, we have, so I'll be joining that now. Do apologise again for the issues either with the lobby. Hopefully we get to racing as soon as possible. Just hopefully everyone can load in, get in their cars as soon as possible. But while we are waiting for the drivers, we'll go over the stewards' results after Mexico then. So, Velocon has been given 3 license points and a quali ban, which he'll be serving for today, which is a shame there for him, which was the collision in Mexico, which he got damaging. Cameron and Davey, who got collided in lap 8, turn 4, if we do remember that correctly, Davey lost control of the car and ran into Cameron, has also been given a quali ban. So Davey's got a quali ban and 3 license points to serve in his events. And is also awarded a warning for failing to cooperate with the stewards, no footage provided. Jabraka has been given 3 license points and a qualifying ban as well today, if he is racing today, I believe. That was due to him deliberately slowing down under the safety car, which we did actually catch, which isn't allowed in PSGL. So hopefully he doesn't make that mistake again. And then the altercation with Davey apparently crashing out. The stewards find it that he did not crash on purpose. So that is all the steward results for this round. So, Davy, Volokin and Jabraka all have quali bans for today. Who are we missing at the moment? We're missing Jabraka, it looks like, in the Ferrari. Yep, it's Jabraka who we're waiting on. Oh, Jabraka does know it, isn't he? Lobby, I hope he's still not in the session. Anything else? Jabraka is in now, so we should be going. So remember, Jabraka, Volokon and Davy all have quali bans. We have been instructed to go then. So back to quali, hopefully, touch wood, there is no glitches or somebody's in the wrong car or anything like that. Because I do not want another restart again. But let's wait for Fruitful Davy, Jax and Marlon to ready up. And Nick as well. As we are now logging into the actual session. Just waiting for Jax to ready up, and he has. So in the session we go then. And the skies are quite cloudy. Is that a potential threat of rain? I can't see any rain at the moment, but we'll make sure. No, everyone is on soft tyres, so they're on the dries. Yep, no threat of rain at the moment. Who will then be leaving first out on track? Just remember, Jabraka, Davy, and Vlocken all have got quali bans. Just repeating that so they remember. Nobody has gone out yet, so a couple people maybe tweaking themselves alone themselves quickly. Looks like the Haas team of Cameron Young is ready to leave the pit lane. We see an Alpine coming down the track already. I believe that is Shane ready to go. And yes, it is. The points leader then. Currently in the championship by 16 points, a victory worth of points right now. The only way somebody will be able to take the championship lead today is if they took the win and the fastest lap. So then, Shane then leaving the pits. Right now then, I don't know why it's locked in this view. There we go. Well then, Shane is out first then, as we have a lot of cars now leaving the pit lane as well. There's a couple of, I believe, 2 Red Bulls behind a AlphaTauri and a McLaren, in just exiting the pits now. But a Ferrari has gone out on track. Now I'm guessing that's Jabraka, obviously he's the only Ferrari there, just to do an outlap. I'm guessing he's going to do and then pit again and retire instantly. Because I don't know what the rule is if they don't serve their quali ban on that. But hazy on that. Right now though, Shane, first one out. And then both Haas drivers behind him. And the story this weekend is this week actually, will Cameron finally break that streak, or took smart, break that streak of retiring? He's retired the past 4 rounds. Will it be a 5th retirement today? Hopefully not. As then, here comes Shane then. Ready to start his flying lap for round number 5 at Japan. And the lap has begun then, as he's approaching the speed of almost 200 miles an hour. Maybe top pit 201. And yes, 201, 202 there. It's into the brakes on, into 1 and 2. Nice and tidy up to 5th gear. Gets a decent exit, rides the curves. Now we get a nice little camera shot here through the S section. You've got to get a nice and tidy line, because you can lose a lot of time and easily gain a lot of time from other people. So far it's nice and tidy. Up through the left-hander. Oh, there's a Haas going slow. That's Cameron. He's made a mistake in the S section, so I said it's quite easy to make a mistake. Now through the right. Oh, and he's invalidated. So, Shane, first one to set a lap, has invalidated. So that is a shame for him, as we're going to go aboard with Lickle. Currently on a lap. And there's only 32.4 in the first sector. Make sure he doesn't invalidate like Shane, as he's approaching the hairpin corner. Nice and tidy through there, he gets a good exit. Through the right hander he goes then, as Rebecca has retired then, so he has served his quali bank. Davey's still in the pits. Ahead of them, Lickle, approaching 130R. Entering sector 2, he's done a 12.4 in the second sector. Flat out there through 130R. Let's see how he does into the chicane. Rides the curves nice and tidy. Keeps car under control. Nice and tidy on the power. Oh no, scratch that. Not under control. And he spins it. And that's not what he wanted to do. Looked like he was going to sell that. In the end, doesn't got a plan. Going to go aboard with Marlon then. Trying to catch up with Shane in the championship. And at the moment, he is going to take pole. The 128.7. Don't know if that's good enough or not, as a lot of other people are going to be improving on their times. QRT Brand does a 29.5, trying to go on board with Tito right now, who's missed a couple of rounds, but he is back then in the F3 division. Zane, his teammate, just ahead of him, coming to the line now. So let's see what Zane does. Zane for 29.8. What about Tito? Is he going to be up there? And yes, he is. 29.474. Goes 4th quickest at the present time. On board with Nick now, who is on an outlet. We'll go on board with him very shortly. Jax is just exiting 130. Apparently, purple sector 2. But I don't really agree. That was a 113. I believe Edward did a 112. However, let's see what Jax can do then. Coming to the line. Is he going to be charging for pole? 128.7 is the fastest right now. Goes 8th quickest. A 130 flat then. As we're on board with the Aston of Fruitful. He's next up to set a flying lap. Keeps it in track limits. Nice and tidy. Keeps car under control. To the line. And it's going to be a 129.2 there. Moves 4th quickest. And I believe that is Shane just finishing off his lap. 116.5, actually, he might be pitting. And yes, he is. He is peeling into the pits and almost spins it there as well. So we'll go on board with then. Who was on a actual lap? I believe it was Nick. Nick will go on board then. Apparently purple in the first sector. 32.4 is his first sector time. Into the hairpin, holds it in 3rd. Keeps the traction nice and tidy there on the exit. Now goes through the right-hander, long right-hander. Just foot to the floor. Could see some possible overtaking opportunities maybe in the late stage of the race around here. Trying to put tyre on. Now through the double left. Got to get a nice exit here. Approaching 130. Nice and tidy then. Up to 7th. Let's see what speed he goes. Round 130R then. Approaching the speeds of 194 miles an hour. Into 130R then. Into the chicane. There's a McLaren just ahead. That's Hershey with a 129.1. Since Noah can't make it today. And here comes Nick then. He's going to come to the line. Is he going to be charging for 4? He has been a good quality runner. Goes 8th quickest. A 129.550. Not a bad lap there from him. And I believe that's their laps over for now. But we are going to go aboard the Haas drivers. It is Lickle then. Currently 11th. No lap time set. He could have set the first lap time. But he made a mistake on the final corner, the exit. And almost crashed in the pit lane. So will Lickle keep up his momentum? He had a very good race in Mexico. Looked like he wasn't going to score a lot of points, and in the end did get a podium. I believe, or got 4th, if I remember correctly. He had a good result in Mexico. He's ready to give it a go again today at Japan. And thank you, Sandra, for letting me know 1-0 to United. Thank you very much. Well then, Lickelen is beginning his flying lap. Let's see if he can show the Haas team what he's got then in the tank. Into turn number 1 he goes then, into 7th, down to 5th gear, may try and go down to 4th, no, holds it in 5th, nice and tidy on the power. Gets a good exit now, approaching turn number 3 and 4, nice and tidy, gotta keep it nice and straight as well, get the quickest line possible, nice and tidy in the right-hander again, goes back down to 5th, from 6th, back up to 6th now, gets a good exit, doesn't make a mistake like Cameron did, nice and tidy on the power. Let's see what his first sector is. And his first sector is a 32.3, 10th quicker than Nick, apparently did a 32.4. Nick's currently in 8th place with 29.5. Just remember how close this grid is at the moment. But Paul is a 28.7. Let's see what Lickle goes into the hairpin. Holds it in 4th gear. Very interesting gear to hold it in, but he holds it in that gear. Now into the right-hander. Approaching the double left, as I said. Possibly could see someone taking some spins as well. Nice and tidy. Hits the entry curve. Almost loses it, actually, the way he took the entry curve. Someone has lost it as well. But that's Cameron there. At the end of Sector 1, made a mistake on his lap. I believe Shane is on a fly right now, but here comes Edward then. A 112.2 purple sector. He's on a flyer right now. Is he going to be challenging Lewis Curtis or ET8 Lewis in second? Lickle then into the chicane. Nice and tidy exit. Keeps him in the control this time. DRS will be inactive. And it's second place there with the 128.783. Only a couple hundredths there off the time. Not a bad lap indeed from the Haas driver. As we're going to go on board with Alpha Tori, I believe that is. Or is it the Red Bull? Actually, no, it's the Red Bull of Snipes then. Currently a 112 in the second sector. He's also looking quick right now. Let's see, he comes in. To the line. And it's a 128.8 then. Moves to third quickest. Not a bad lap. So we're going to go on board with Ferenc then. Who has an Alpha right behind him. And an Aston. Off on outlaps. Ferenc then coming to the line. And not a bad lap then. Moves to fourth quickest. Just behind his teammate. Right now Alex is on a lap at the moment. What about Shane? Shane is currently in 16th on a flying lap. Coming into the chicane then. Doesn't invalidate this time like he did on the first run. Into the right-hander. Not getting comfortable with the car. The car's trying to snap all over in the back end. But he's coming to the line at 128.922. Now we're in the 28th. A couple more drivers are in it. Moves to fourth quickest. McLaren of Hershey is next, starting a flying lap. As Edward is going to be peeling in the pits very soon. As we'll go on board with Shane's teammate. YS Brand, QRT Brand, in 11th, currently with a 129.5. Let's see what his third sector time will be then. Coming to the line then with the Alpine. Very close to that wall, trying to get a nice short run, and moves to 8th with a 152. I'm going to say if it was a 128.152, it would have been on pole there. But not a bad lap indeed. We're going to go on board with Tito, not Zane. Tito is currently right now on his way to 130R. Currently sitting in 12th place with a 129.474. And look how close, yet again, this grid is. Very closely packed together. And this is which is great about the F3 tier. Get good qualifying results. And then we'll have some awesome racing, hopefully, in the next 8 minutes' time. As Tito then coming to the line. Ooh, doesn't get a good exit at the final corner. And he's coming to the line then, and it's a 129.1. Maybe lost a couple of hundredths there on that lap. The Aston Martin now, I was going to say Aston. The Aston Martin, 128.753 there. 2,000ths of a second off the Mercedes. Right now, Marlon is doing a very good job in the Mercedes today. We're going to go on board with him. Apparently, he's 1.5 tenths up. He is lagging though a tiny bit as well on the screen. Now, hopefully, that is just for me visually, and hopefully that's not affecting the drivers. Apparently he was off the track there in the double left. Oh, and he is round into the wall, and that's definitely not lag. And he's spun it then, so that's his lap over, but he was a 10th up on his time. Okay, maybe he's not. Okay, he's just reset there somehow. Is he on a good lap? I don't know what's going on here. apparently spun it, but yeah, he's not on a very quick lap then. And we're going to go on board with Nick then. Marlon has left the session. Hopefully he can rejoin. Marlon, 3.5 tenths up on his time. Let's see what he can do in the Alfa Romeo. As I said, he's been very good at quality. Oh, and he invalidates there into the chicane. And he's going to be disappointed with that lap. Going to keep it going though. And it would have been a 1:29.2 then. 5.7. That would have put him... it would have actually kept him in the position he's in. So, maybe a bit disappointed with that lap. But can't have it all. Right though, we're going to go on board with Cameron this time. Hopefully he can get this lap together. That's all he needs to do is get one lap together and just hopefully make it a good lap. As out of the final chicane then, as he starts his first or third flying lap of the day. But he hopefully be the first on the board. As he's approaching turn 1 then in the Haas, approaching speeds of 202 miles an hour into 1, hits to bring us on, goes down to 4th gear, back up to 5th for the traction, nice and tidy out of 2. Now we go into turn 3 and 4, nice and tidy, don't want to get too much over that curve. Into 5 now, nice and tidy again, good traction with the Haas, as he's been making a couple errors a couple of times around here. Let's see how he holds the left-hander, keeps it planted, under control, good. First sector from Cameron. Hopefully he can keep it within track limits. A 32.2 quicker than his teammate who did a 32.3 in the first sector. Cameron has got some pace at the moment. Let's see what he can do into the hairpin corner. Holds it in 3rd, puts it maybe up to 4th. No, he keeps it in 3rd. They're very interesting gears. Nice and tidy though through the ice. Foot planted to the floor. So there's other cars on laps right now, but we want to go on board with Cameron. Lewis will be finishing a lap, I believe, or just starting a lap. We'll have to wait and see, as both Alphas are out on track right now. Cameron up, approaching 130R. And Nick's just peeled into the pit, so we'll go on board with Lewis next. Cameron up, on a flyer right now. Into the chicane he goes. Hopefully he doesn't make a mistake in validating. He doesn't. Hopefully he doesn't make a mistake like Edward spin it. He doesn't. He's keeping it on track. Coming to the line. What time is it going to be? And that's 5th quickest. So 1:28.916. He's got to be happy with that lap. Might not be near the pole at the moment, but he's got to definitely be happy with setting a time altogether. However, one board with ETA Lewis, who surprised us the first couple of rounds with his pace. Let's see what he can do then in the second sector. One of my favourites for the championship this season. But he has been known to bottle a lot, Mr. Lewis Curtis. However, nice and tidy on the lap. Approaching speeds of almost 192 miles an hour, 94 miles an hour into 130R. Nice and tidy then. Into the chicane he goes. Nice tidy exit. Let's see what Lewis... Oh, no, scratch that. Not a nice tidy exit. He's done an Edward. And he's spun it on the line. He's going to be very disappointed in himself. Look at this. Needs a trip to the pits then. And Zane starts his flying. We're going to go on board with him for that then. As Brent sets Paul with the 1:28.734. So the Red Bull picks up the pace. I don't know. On board with Zane right now. He's got an Aston behind him. Fruitful. Who's still on an outlap. As Marlon has rejoined then, that's great to see. Is it not nice and tidy through the S section? Okay, nice camera view there. He's a 10th up on his time apparently, or just under a 10th. Let's see if he can hold it up in the second sector. 10th would gain him possibly a position to 9th if he keeps it under control. Could even get him 8th right now, but he needs to find a tiny bit more time in the second sector, as this will be his final run of the day then today. Let's see how he takes a double left then. Rides the curbs, nice and tidy down to 5th gear. Perfectly under control there. And Davey has finally retired then, so the 3 drivers who had quality bans have served them then in the end to this. No extra penalties for those 3 hopefully. Right now though, Zane then. Personal speed is 130. He's almost 2 tenths up on his time right now. So Zane's picking up the pace even more. Could possibly sit at 28.9. Possibly challenging at the transfer point leader of Shane, as Cameron and Marlon have called it a day in quali. But here comes Zane then. To the line. He did make a little error there on the final corner. But it's a 28.992. I thought that was an identical lap to Shane, but it isn't. Just misses out there. Moves to 8th though. Not a bad lap. As I wish it would let me select a driver. believe that's Alex Murad there. No, it's not. It's actually Jax right now on a lap. Is he finishing the lap, though? And the answer is no, he's not. It isn't Snipes. Okay, so it's not Snipes then who was next on lap. It's Hershey then. Hershey in the McLaren. Shane not that far behind. Will the McLarens be able to keep this pace up? They've had some good quali runs, but they've just not been able to turn that round in the race. But here comes Hershey then. To the line. DRS activated, and it's 6th place with a 126.892. What about Shane though? Shane takes pole with a 128.643. Not a bad lap there from him. As next up we have one of the Alphas. Actually, both Alphas starting their laps. Tito also starting their lap as well. And Snipes then is in 6th, also begin his flying lap. Right now though, we're going to go on board with Alex Murad then, currently in 10th. Apparently purple in Sector 2 now. Let's see what he can do. He's been showing some promising pace in the Williams. To the final corner. And a 128.777. 3/10 improvement, moves to 5th place. Not a bad lap there indeed. As we're going to go on board with Zane, he peels into the pits. Nick has retired. Now, has that been an altercation with Tito then? I hope not. Maybe we'll find some more information out soon. Right now, we're going to quickly go on board with Fruitful then. Oh, that's very cheeky. He's peeling into the pits anyway. What about Lickle? Is he going to take pole then today? Absolutely not with a 34.3. And that's his quali over then. As Shane, I believe that is in the background. No, that's actually his teammate Brand actually on a flyer. He's 26 seconds down his time actually, so he isn't on a flyer. He's on a slow lap. We'll go on board with Snipes then. Then we will go on board with Lewis. Oh, scratch that. Lewis is into the wall, so he's been out of the double left-hander. There's 4-130R. Snipes then will be the final person to set a lap. Is it going to be good enough, though, for the Red Bull? Coming to the line, and yes, it is a 128.498. Where has that lap come from, ladies and gentlemen? What a lap there from Snipes. Takes pole with the Red Bull, and as I said, Tito isn't on a quick lap, as he possibly had an altercation with Nick in the S section. But what a lap indeed, and steals Shane's spotlight then of taking pole in Japan. Well, that's quali over. Do remember though, there is no formation lap for the race. I'll be back in the next couple of minutes to join you for the rest stop. I am back. Just waiting for drivers to retire from the session. That is Murad now, who we're waiting for. And there you go. So that's qualifying then. Snipes then on pole. So Snipes then takes pole position with a 128.498, 1.5 tenths quicker than Shane. Shane in second then, Friends third, Marlon in fourth, looking for his championship fight this season. Fruitful in fifth, Murad in sixth, Lickle, good qualifying in seventh, Hershey in eighth, and a better qualifying from Cameron Young in ninth. Zane in 10th, Lewis Curtis bottling in qualifying a little bit in 11th, Tito 12th, back for his return. Brian in 13th, Jax in 14th, Nick may have had an altercation with Tito in 15th, and Davey, Jabraka and Volokan all serving their quali bands and not having a quali run time set in place for today's race. As Luca is saying, yes, Snipes, so he's happy with Snipes' pole there, and yeah, I think Snipes is going to be happy with his pole as well with that lap. A very strong lap, came out of nowhere, wasn't sixth, and then takes pole by almost 2 tenths there. And the heavens have finally opened for the F3 tier. It looks like intermediates all the way to go for the drivers today at Japan for the race. So, what's their potential? Some of the drivers running wet setups compared to some of the guys running dry. Could be a very interesting turn of events there, especially with cold tyres as well. Everyone's going to have to take cautious into turn one, but don't make it too cautious because somebody could easily just sneak past into turn one. But also don't be too aggressive, so we don't want a massive crash into 1 as well, as we've had a couple of times in other tiers, not taking it safely into 1. But 14 seconds then, and we're underway with the race, and my top 3 for today's race will be Shane taking the win, Marlon second, and I'm going to go with Ferenc in third. That is my top 3 for today. Well then, the countdown is over. 5 lights are red. And we're underway then for the 5th round at Japan, and everyone gets an okay start then in the background. Oh, there's actually almost a 4-wide movement there. Look at the Aston in the background as well, Davey. As we go into 1 then, as we go down the field. There's been a contact there. I think that's the Aston there. Getting a bit of carbon fibre. No, it's not. It's one of the AlphaTauris there going slowly. And that is Zane. He's been in an altercation with a certain individual. Now, I wonder who that is. Tito trying to make a move on the Aston. There's a McLaren off the track there into turn number 4 there. And everyone's not really taking it cautiously right now. As you can see, an Alpine and a Williams going side by side through the left-hander. Murad and Brand going side by side again. Keeping it there. Then Williams trying to keep his line, but he's going to have to give it up. But he keeps his nose in. More yellow flags. There's been a massive crash in the background there. And Zane, Tito's been involved in that. Oh, and there's a safety car possibly. There's a VSC at the moment, but yeah, well, Davey got a quality ban and now, technically, got a race ban with that crash. He didn't even, only did a couple of corners and he's out. Big impact there, and Tito going to have to come back into the pit lane. But we're currently under the VSC right now. Our look at the front hasn't really changed. Lewis obviously moved to 10th. The camera actually lost position to 9th then. We will actually have a look at the positions lost, if it lets me. Why is it? No, there is. Position changes then. So the biggest losers in position change was Hershey, 8. Biggest winners though, it's Bracken Velocken, 5 positions, and Brand with 6. But we should be going back under green flag race very shortly. Hopefully nobody gets drive-throughs through the VSC. The drivers are getting ready. Oh, we're going to go green flag racing yet. Interesting, the VSCs are going out very long. And yep, Zane's in the pits then. Hershey. Oh, so Zane's also in the pits. So both AlphaTauris then, as I said, got damage then as well. So that's a disappointing result for the AlphaTauri team. They're going to have to do a lot of hard work to try and score some points. And the VSC still on. I'm surprised it's last on. The track has been cleared of any debris or any cars or anything like that. But right now we're back under green flag race then, so the VSC has ended. Who's got away with it? And looks a clean start for the leader, but Shane is keeping up with him with the pace right now. But look at Marlon in the background in 3rd, with Ferenc in 4th. Bit of tweak there. Look at Marlon looking hungry, possibly trying to make a move. Is he going to go for a dive into the hairpin? Thinks about it. Oh, Shane, that could have ended in a massive crash there. And Shane looking very hungry on the Red Bull, up ahead as well. And the Mercedes just waiting in the wings, just to see a little mistake there from Shane. He knows he's quicker at the moment, but has he got the nerve to make a move into this double left-hander? There's yellows apparently in sector 2. That is fruitful going slowly. And that is both Astons then out of the race then for today. And that is a shame. So that's no points for the Aston Martin team then. Right now though, we can see Shane and Marlon going side by side. We're looking for friends in the background as well. Are they going to go side by side through 130R? Only time is going to tell. They're still going side by side. Marlon though holds his line, almost runs off the track as well. Marlon's trying to keep his line, and look at Shane now going, breaking late, round the outside into the chicane. Nice and tidy, makes the move back, and Marlon's just being schooled there into the chicane then. As we see, Snipesen sets the provisional fastest lap. The 141, actually 140.8 from Brandon. Times are getting quicker. But Marlon then trying to make a move yet again on Shane. The Red Bull going a bit deep into 1. Snipes making a bit of an error there. Doesn't want to make too many errors. As we're keeping an eye on this fight for seconds. Just remember, this is the fight for the championship lead. Obviously, it won't change if Marlon gets ahead, but he gains some crucial points if he can get ahead of him. Right now though, Marlon, everyone is now just keeping up with Shane. Snipes is now starting to have his little train there from 1st to 6th. Morad then is having his own little train as well, and same with Lewis Curtis. He's having a bit of an issue in 9th then in the background, it looks like. But right now, though, Marlon doesn't get a good exit after the hairpin, and Ferenc is all over him. Brand is out. Oh, there's been a big crash. I need to get on board with it quickly. And he's lost it. Same place where Fruitful lost it as well. So the Alpine team aren't going to be happy when their driver's not scoring a point. So Shane, yet again, has got to do all the work for their team. Now, as right now, though, Shane starting to pick up the pace as well, again on Snipes. But remember, he doesn't want to push too much, because Brand looks like he was pushing a bit too much into the wall. So was there an altercation with another driver? We don't know. We'll have to wait and see if anyone peels into the pit lane. But right now, though, Lewis is under a bit of bother in the background. We've got to keep an eye on the front. Action in the front now. Shane sets the new fast lap, 40.2. New fastest lap. Still not making a move yet. There is no DRS, obviously, because of the intermediate conditions. Marlon going a bit deep through one, but Shane is all over the Red Bull. He's just looking a lot more hungrier for this championship. He didn't win the F4 tiers title. He's come to the new game with a lot of pace this season, and he's looking for a title this year in the F3 tier as well. So hopefully he can do that. But he needs to keep this momentum going every race. In good positions, good starts, and Dane, 1:39.5. So times are improving. Are we possibly expecting no rain near the end of this race? We'll have to wait for that right now. As the track's starting to get a bit quieter, not as aggressive as it was for the first couple of laps. Lewis, though, trying to catch up with Cameron in 7th, who's currently in a little fight, making a move on the inside. Oh, bit of contact there. That could be a bit of wing damage, but he makes the move. Alex Moran side by side with the Williams. And the Haas round. We've seen cars make a mistake through here. Is it going to happen again? Is it going to happen again? Oh, bit of contact. Cameron is off on the grass. He's got to make it rejoin safely, and he keeps it under control. Remember, Cameron is trying to defeat the streak. He's retired 4 rounds. He doesn't want to make it a 5th as he makes a little error there. And look at Lewis. He's now looking hungry into the wings as well. But we've got to keep an eye on the action up front as well. There is a 5-car fight for the lead. We're going to keep an eye on it right now, but we're on board as Brand has left the session then. We're going to go on board with the lead though. Look at the car pile up here. Could cover him with a lot of tyres right now. But oh, Marlon makes a little twitch there. And look at Ferenc, 10th up on his time. But Shane dropping away now from Snipes. Nick's possibly challenging his teammate here, as we can see. Oh, hang on, I missed an overtake yet again. I've done this again, made a mistake. And look at this, now on board with the action. Oh, bit of contact between the Red Bull and the Mercedes yet again. Ferenc and the Merc have not got a buzz, but look at the experience from the F3, from F2 and from F1 driver. Just pulling it around the outside. Is he going to make it work though with Marlon? Keeping it round, side by side they're going through the right-hander. Or the left-hander, sorry, into the right he goes, has to pull away though, almost makes it move, almost makes a little dive there, going to the right, but has to wait again. Very cheeky little overtake he tried, but unfortunately couldn't make it work. But nice little attempt for that, as we're going back on board with the battle in the background for Locken, who had a quali ban. He's coming into the mix then, trying to make a move on Nick. Oh, round the inside. Is he going to make this work? No, he doesn't. He has to give him some room there. Has to back off there. As Nick looked like he was going to completely close the door. That could have ended in a massive crash. And could have cost both drivers their race. But right now, Balocon is looking very quick in the Merc. As we keep an eye on the action up front as well as right now it's Ferenc, 2/10. I wouldn't say he's ready for an overtake as the... Oh my God, Lewis, massive twitch there. And he's under pressure. His teammate making a move on the inside. He's going a rear camera shot there. Doesn't give his teammate room. And look at this. Balocon has just gone round the outside on the final corner. What a move. It moves into 9th position now. What an overtake. And he's ready to catch up with Lewis. Lewis maybe didn't want to do that to his teammate. Was a bit cheeky there. Shoving his teammate off the track. As Cameron's still behind Murad, but catching back up the time he lost. Nick, though, all over the back of Balocon right now. Not really happy with the overtake, possibly. But right now, though, Snipes got to get 1.3 seconds, so he's now out of that train. He's got his own clean air and not under threat from Shane in the background. But Ferenc trying to keep up with Shane. I want to stay on board with Locken for a little bit. We'll go back to the action up front if there's a potential of an overtake. And I think that he's going to have very shortly. Ferenc coming to 3.5 tenths up at the moment. Gets a good enough exit. Now I'm wondering if people have lost it by touching that curb and then trying to save the car and then going into the wall, or they've been hit by something for Fruitful and Brand. Both DNFing, as right now though, Little's dropping a bit behind Marlon. Marlon is now getting in the mix. Shane's making no errors here right now, so Ferentzen is looking hungry, and ERS is active then. So, are we going to possibly see an uptick through 130? Oh, he's gaining on him, but he decides, you know what, let's be patient, let's wait, let's get him on the next straight, as he's got to be as well smart as well. He's got Marlon right on his tail, and here we go then. Oh, a bit of contact almost there between the Mercedes and the Red Bull, going side by side into the chicane. Got to give him space, plenty of space given. Oh, and Ferenc couldn't make it work, and Marlon moves into third. Marlon then holding his line. Lickle moving for potential overtake on Ferenc. Into the mix now as we go on board with the lock, and then also he's looking hungry for 8th position right now. The gap to the lead 1.8, so the gap to the lead is increased. I know Shane's under a bit of pressure right now by the Mercedes of Marlon and Ferenc and the Red Bull and the Haas of Lickle. But he's put a bit of a gap himself. Now, if there was DRS, would be out of the DRS range. Now back into the range of the DRS. 9/10 currently the gap is. Gap to lead 1.6 now. Decrease a tiny bit. Maybe Sainz made a couple of errors on his lap. As Lewis is in a lot of trouble right now. He just doesn't have the pace to keep up with Cameron, and it looks like he's losing a tiny bit of time. But Marlon, sorry, Vlokken in the background there, it's not been out. A lot of guys are also going wide as well, but Vlokken, as I was saying, he's catching up with him, but he just can't get a move done. Maybe he's buying his time or something. We're going to keep an eye on the action up front as well, as Little's dropped off down to 1.1. We're going to stay on board with the fight. Vlokken versus ET8 Lewis. I think TNR are the quicker team, and Vlokken making a move then round the outside through 130. Very optimistic. Maybe scares Lewis a little bit. Going for the outside overtake. We switch to the inside, switch back to the outside. He's doing a lot of switchbacks here. Mars, it's a new fastest lap. And we're definitely going to see an overtake here. Lewis is very under pressure right now. And here comes Vlokken making a move around the outside on the straight. And he looks like he's going to go around the outside through one. Is this going to be a Kimi Räikkönen overtake moment? And around the outside, just doesn't get it to work. Lewis holds his line. Good defending and good attacking as well from both drivers there. As right now, though, we're going to go back on board with the action of ahead. Ferenc is back into third. Did miss that fight while we're on board with the other one. And right now, though, Marlon is looking hungry on Ferenc. And yet again, Lickle, every time these guys fight a tiny bit, Lickle gains back the time. He loses. So, when will the pit stops also be happening as well? I think maybe in the next 5 laps. Tito gets a 3-second time penalty. He's not having a good day in the office, as he held up quite a lot there. This is a massive train behind Lewis right now. He's really under pressure. But Ferenc and Shane, these three could be fighting for the championship right near the final round. These three are the quickest on track overall compared to everybody else, I feel, right now, as they've been very consistent with their results. Lickle 1.4, he's dropped a bit further now behind. We've got to keep an eye on Vlokken. He's 2 tenths, now almost a 10th on the Alpha. He's actually making a move. We are going to switch this. Through 130, Lewis makes a mistake. And now here comes Vlokken round the outside, trying to make it work. We get a shocking view. They go side by side into the chicane. Lewis has to realise he's there. But Lewis, yet again, showing his skill, but watch out for Nick. He's possibly trying to make a move out of this. They're going yet again side by side, down the straight. Who's going to burn much of the ERS? They're almost at 12% is Vlokken. Round the outside he goes, and into one. Oh, it goes deep, and Nick almost had to completely back out there. It could have easily collided with the Mercedes. And up ahead, though, nothing has changed. This action is still continuing on track right now. Vlokken in 9th, holding his line, but he's in an Alfa Romeo Sandridge right now, and he's probably not liking it. I think a master strategy call from Vlokken is needed. As the action ahead has died down a lot, actually. The gap's starting to get a bit bigger. I've got Lewis yet again under threat. Blocken has kept this pace all race long at the moment. On lap number 9, we'll be starting lap number 10 very shortly. As Cameron's also picking up the pace as well. Blocken wasn't as close this time through 130 yard. Goes on the exit curb now. Could he be under threat by Nick in the background? We're on board Nick on a TV pod view. And both drivers, Lewis and Blocken, not comfortable with that final corner where the bump used to be, the famous bump in Japan on the other games. But they're not really looking very comfortable on traction. Oh, runs deep into 2. Let's just see where he's going to gain the time. We're on a rear view camera shot right now. And Lewis is getting a lot of time in the first sector, it looks like, but in the second and third he loses a little bit. As Marlon has also increased the pace as well. We are going to have to go back up on this fight with the other Merc, trying to get it turned in, get a good traction zone, get a good exit. And he does. And he's on Ferenc, and he's got plenty of ERS to burn compared to Ferenc. So, as Marlon being deliberately saving his ERS, ready to go for a hammer time mode. As Sandra just let me know it's 1-0 half time for United and Liverpool. Thank you very much, Sandra, for that information. It's great to hear. Right now, though, Marlon making a possible overtake now, going in a lot of straight line speed, and yeah, that's easy peasy, lemon squeezy then. Marlon moves to third, and Ferenc is probably going to be not really happy with the fight, but it's some action for him, you know. You don't want to just be driving around, not doing anything all race. Maybe Marlon can now try and catch Shane and Snipe up ahead. Nope, got to go back at the exit up ahead though for Locken, Nick and Lewis. Look how close they are. They almost could. If one makes a mistake, it's going to take them all out. Is Locken going to be smart this time? Lewis defends on the inside, keeps that wall closed. And here comes Locken round the outside. He's going to go then into one, but he's got to back out again. And this is now going to open the door possibly for Nick. As we're going to rear view there, very close to the wing. Very close, but can't make it work. Locken though has to get a good run on the exit and make Lewis aware. Because Lewis right now is just letting him keep going for overtakes, burning his ERS. He's obviously trying to save as much as he can. And just keeps making him go around the outside. If you're going to go around the outside, you're going to have to brake a tiny bit later than Lewis to make it work. Because I know Lewis, he's a very good driver, he can defend very well, but it's very easy to make a mistake. Very easy driver to make a mistake. So just keep piling the pressure on Blockon, and I believe you could make a move very soon. Right now though, we're going to go back to the action then in the lead right now. If it lets me. Yeah, there we go. Snipes then leads by a second at the present time. It was 1.8 at one point. Now, is Snipes' tyre wear starting to kick in a little bit? Is he struggling with tyre issues or something like that? Maybe the same with the Alphas as well, because they've been slightly caught by Jabraka. Cameron's now slightly catching up with Murad as well, and Little's now back into play with the fight. So, on lap number 11, I don't know when these guys are pitting, but it is surely going to be soon. As new fastest lap, a 1:39.1. As Edward's in. It's a very interesting tournament. Edward then is going for the undercut. And will it work? But right now, though, here comes Blocker getting very aggressive. Going to go for the outside again. He's got to brake late this time to make it work. Is he going to do it? Around the outside? No, yet again, he has to brake early. He just can't get the car into there. He needs to be more aggressive. Instead of going for the home straight to make an overtake on Lewis, try and go possibly down the back straight where, well, near 130R. So right now, though, Lewis is doing a very brilliant job. Oh, Snipes! Snipes, the race leader, has left the session. This is terrible news. He needs to rejoin as soon as possible, because right now Shane is going to take the lead. As Nick picks up a 3-second time penalty. Scratch that. Nick is off the track there. So maybe it was that harsh 3-second. He gets shoved to the track by Velocan there. As he drops now behind Jax and Jabraka. And Lewis is 5.8 from Cameron. That's how much time these two have lost keeping battling. Snipes has rejoined, but he needs to get his car as soon as possible. He don't want to lose too much time. As right now, though, he's going to be a sitting duck. He's going to be burning all that juice he has, all that ERS, and just look at the speed. I really feel sorry for Snipes. He was doing a very good job, and the game is decided, but he is back on the game. And he's probably like, I'm disappointed now, I've lost the lead, lost all that time. But you know, don't be worried, you look like you're the quicker driver. And the top four still not pitting. So they're under threat right now by Lickle, if Lickle can keep the pace going. Right now though, we're on board with Lewis again. And yet again, Lewis gets a great exit, and he's just not under pressure at all. Both drivers saving a plenty of ERS. And if Locking this time isn't going to go for an overtake, we're going to go through the background as Hershey in the pit lane. The McLaren team. A quick stop, another set of intermediates. And he's going to be behind Zane, but Zane obviously is going to make another stop as well. Same with Tito, there's no way they're going to make those inters last that long. Now on lap 13, out of 27, Red Bull's third and fourth, Snipes and Ferenc. Starting to lose a little bit of time now by Marlon and Shane. Now let's pick up the pace yet again. Under 5/10 right now. Oh, I'll tell you. Yeah, there's an error there apparently. Hershey was under yellows. Interesting. Scratch that. Marlon! What's happened to Marlon? Marlon's made a mistake. He's somehow ghosted for Snipes to make a move. Oh, very close to that wall as well. Is there something wrong with the car? As he retakes the lead, where is Lickle then? As Lewis peels into the pits. Has Lickle done enough to undercut them? And he's picking up the pace right now. He's got to activate his ERS. Surely, no, don't do that. Scratch that. He's into the wall and he's bottled it. And a bottle for Lickle. And that wasn't the plan. And that's it then. That's his potential taking the lead over. He's going to have to come back in the pits and get a new front wing. But right now, though, one board of Jabraka right now. This is actually going to be crucial for Shane. If these guys don't pit in the next couple of laps, could potentially be holding them up. Lickle then moves to 11th. Sorry, moves to drop to 12th. Lewis moves to 11th. Nick, though, in 7th, trying to possibly see an overtake opportunity on Jackson Jabraka. He knows he's quicker than him. He was ahead and pulling away. But he's just going to make the right time to pit. Vlocken, though, under threat by Lewis since he's made the undercut, will inside the pit. And Marlon also made a mistake into the 130R as well. As Jabraka makes an error. Jack's seeing this. Possibly make a cheeky overtake if he gets enough straight line speed. Leader is in the pits then. We're going on board with it. It's going to be a good stop from Marlon. He's out. No, I look like he was getting held up then for some reason, but he ain't. Vlocken obviously takes the lead. He's staying out, which is there. I don't think it's the best strategy. And there's 83 there. Welcome to the stream. It's a shame you're not racing today, but hopefully you can make it next time round. As here comes Marlon. There goes Shane. And there goes Snipes. Yep. The undercut was a lot more powerful. And I think Lickle would have been in the play there for possibly overtaking him. But Cameron is actually getting a bit of time here. He's now 2 seconds off this fight. Now, he isn't ahead of Alex. Alex and Vlocken still need to pit. As Nick's just left the pit lane now, and he's behind Zane. Zane's going to be pitting very shortly. As obviously Lickle is peeling into pits then for a new front wing. Got a lot of work to do if he wants to try and scrape a point for the Haas team. But right now, Cameron is pulling the work steer, currently in 9th with his pit stop. Possibly could end up in 5th at the end of the race. Lewis picks up a 3-second time penalty. That could cost him a lot of time and positions. On board with the leader right now though, as he's obviously pitting this lap. Surely he's pitting this lap. We've got to keep an eye on Marlon as well. I'll keep an eye on that. Nick makes me one saying that's probably the most easiest overtake ever since he's on fresher tyres. And no, Alex stays out and all that. Ooh, Tito's retired. There's yellows. And no, they don't pit. Interesting. I wonder how long these guys are doing these inters for, because there's no way they're going to the end. It's impossible. As the times are getting quicker now. Are they staying out possibly for the chance of the track drying out? Jabraka picks up a 3-second. The times are improving, but I don't think it is going to end the race in dry weather, as Tito has left session, so he has called it a day as well since he's retired. That's 4 DNFs then today. One whole team is out, but an AlphaTauri and an Alpine also out of the race there. And it's crucial for Alpine as well, since they could have gained a bit more away from the Merc. Could be a threat from today. I'm on board with Marlon, trying to keep up with Snipes. Marlon gets an amazing exit there out of the hairpin, and he's now possibly making... Oh, scratch that! Snipes is into the wall. He's just plummeted into there. Now, I didn't get a good angle on that. It looked like he got hit. Now, I don't know if that was desync. Now, I know desync back in 2018 was like that, where if you went to somebody's rear end and just was that close, you just spin off into the wall. Snipes has got no nose. He got no potential now for the win. And it's over. Look at Lewis making a move into 9th. Oh, that is a shame there for Snipes. He was doing so well today. It gets, you know, a disconnect, rejoins, fighting again, and then that happens. It is a shame then for that. But the leaders stayed out yet again. What is their strategy? Ferrant setting a new fastest lap. Now, I wish we could have like a weather graphic or something like that on the right side saying potential of dry or something like that to help us out as commentators. But obviously if they did that, that'd be another glitch for the game. Did he lose? Some guys are saying he lost the rear. I don't know. It looked odd. Obviously it's quick. But if he did lose his rear, then that is a shame. That's 3 drivers though have lost it in that corner. I just like to know what the guys are doing on 16 lap or intermediates compared to everybody else. I don't think it's the smartest call. Oh, Lickle gets a 3-second as well. Small insult to injury. On board with Jackson Shane then. Net leader. Lap 17, yellows, and that is Edward Round. And he's not getting a break again, yet again, another wing lost. Oh, Jabraka then gets a good exit, but Jax is in a bit of trouble now. He's got to defend. Marlon, a 1:37.9, the times are improving. So, is there potential of dries? Right now, as Shane's getting really close to Jax, but can't make it work. Shane's all over him right now. Jackson on a mission. Oh, Shane going for an aggressive dive into the hairpin. Got to give each other space to do. Edwards got a 10-second. I think he's given up for today. And that's his retirement. I think he's going to go and watch the United game. Which is fair enough. He's got nothing to lose. I hope this doesn't cause a safety car though. As Marlon around the outside of Jax as well. So Shane thought he pulled one up on the Merc. But right now Marlon is looking a lot more hungrier for the win today. But is it going to be Marlon's second victory or is it going to be Shane's fourth? As on lap 18 then, we've had 5 retirements. Lickle, Tito, Brown, Fruitful and Davey all retired from today's race. 4 actually crashed out and then 1 just had enough for today's race. He obviously wasn't going to get any points or do anything in the end, but yeah, that is a shame. Oh, Jabraka holding up Shane. Now these two have had a couple of nice tasty battles in F4 last season. They're going to keep it up again, yet again in F3. If I remember correctly though. I think Shane won most of those battles in the end. Oh, Shane gets a little wiggle there. Not a good sign for the traction up there. Hopefully he doesn't get another one and make a massive mistake and crash. There's on lap 19. And look at Ferenc making a dive on the inside of Jax, and you can just tell the grip difference. Gonna have to be kind of Shane like he gets a good... Oh, scratch that. Shane is out. He has done it again. He is out. He's made a mistake, and that is a safety car. This has put Alex Murad potentially taking the lead of this race. Shane has DNF'd yet again. This is great news for Marlon. He now needs to take the win and take the fastest lap if he wants to take the championship point lead. But he can take the win and be tied on points. Shane then, yet again, pressure got to him and it made a mistake. So that 4th win, back to 3. Marlon essentially getting the 2nd win and taking the lead of the championship could be happening. As the lock-on, interesting enough, hasn't pitted. I don't think that is the smartest call. There's no way on God's earth he's taking those intermediates to the end. There's no way they can last 27 laps. If he manages to make these last 27 laps and win the race, I'm going to be surprised, very surprised. It'll be another masterclass strategy from Blocken, but could be doing another Stappen, P1 or DNF, could be. But he's got 2 feisty drivers behind him, Ferenc and Marlon, already looking to take some points on Shane, already tasting blood in the water. But this guy, I can't believe I'm saying this, touching wood that he doesn't bottle it or curse him. Cameron Young, Toxic Smart, in 4th place, doing an amazing job for the Haas team, carrying Lickle for today. Has had 4 DNFs in a row. On lap 20, this is the longest he's lasted in a race. Hopefully, he can carry it on and score some solid points for the team and himself for the drivers today. Then we have Alex Mad then drop behind him in 5th on fresher intermediates. So, Lewis Curtis in 6th, in a bit of trouble. He's got a guy who's on fresher ahead of him, probably going to be a quick 1 pace, only by a couple of laps. But he's got some guys behind him who are also on fresh tyres and a lot more hungrier to gain some positions. We've got Hershey, we've got Zane coming back in this, we've got Snipes also going back in this as well. We've got another quick contender for the race victory. Obviously not going to get a victory now, but he was a contender at one point. So you're going to have to calculate him in. Could he make an astonishing start like Shane and Lickle did in Mexico on the safety car restart? Well then, safety car is still not going to be pitting in the pits. On lap 20 then, we're going to be starting lap 21 under the safety car with the red Mercedes driving us around. I think the victory is going to go to Marlon, but I'm very surprised Shane. That's what? That's the 4th. That's the 4th person who's binned it there. I wonder if there's a bump or there's something there where when it's wet, there's just no traction if you get like the throttle wrong or anything, because we saw it earlier on, people were lifting off a little bit, so maybe there is something there which people are pushing a bit too much, or there's a little bump which unsettles the car. Might have to do some digging on that in the F3 general chat while under the safety car. Shane is a bit actually annoyed at Jabraka, saying he wasn't in his race and he's trying to ruin his race. And that apparently caused a crash, but I'll try and find some information. No one else has complained about it. There is potential dries though, because I've just seen in the chat, it says rain near the end, it may be dry. Maybe that's why Verlocken's risk to stay out. Now, he's pushing it, because I can see the blistering on his tyres. When the tyres get blistered, the part of the tyre is like a lot darker than the other one. So, he's definitely in puncture territory. He's probably at 60% at least on those intermediates. 20 laps. It's going to be interesting. Sifka's going to go for another lap. Obviously, Sainz isn't trying to slow down. He is going full throttle. Shane does gives us some information in the chat then. He says they were trying to ruin my race. He was backing me up. That is a shame there. But Shane, if you give us some information of how you actually crashed there, was it a bump, you just got on traction, or did you back off a bit too much than you liked and you tried to get past him quickly and just lost control? You could just give us a little comment there in the chat for that, Shane, if you don't mind. Because if it is a bump, then I do feel sorry for you, but if it's just a general mistake, I also feel sorry for you as well on that. Safety car will be coming in this lap, definitely. Everyone has caught up. So, end of lap 22, start of lap 23. We're back to green flag racing. Who's going to take victory then? Will it be Verlocken with very weird strategy, or will it be Marlon? Shane is very angry with Jabraka. Hopefully use that anger for next round to get a good result, but the safety car is in his hand then, so we'll hopefully find some more information about that later on. But we're going back to the front. Live action then. Verlocken in pole in the front, with his teammate in second. A little bit of team orders there, possibly, for the Mercedes team, as I believe Verlocken still is a reserve. And Shane did hit a bump, which resulted in a crash. So there is a bump in that section then. But then, Verlocken is underway, gets a good start. Marlon not that far behind, and slightly pulls away from the Red Bull. But look at Cameron, he's looking hungry. That's 2 moves. That is 3 moves there from Ferenc. So what is he playing at? On the straight there. That's questionable defending, and the Mercs, surely you don't want to collide each other. And this is going to remind me of Mexico turn 1. If I was just blocking, I'd just let him go, and someone's let me know United are 2-0 up. Oh, there's contact again, almost collides side by side again, and easy peasy lemon squeeze from on the grippier tyre. Now, Marlon has to pull away. Now, Vlokken, for Marlon's sake, is going to have to defend. I know he's not his teammate, he's a reserve. But, Cameron's now under pressure from Murad in the background there. He's got to watch out. But is looking for potential podium to clear. That's Fred's potential go for a dive. Oh my god, the Haas almost ran into the back of the Red Bull. Lap 23. And the action is already kicking off. You can see in the background there, Lewis and Jabraka going side by side. And as I said, those fresher inters are going to be a lot quicker. And Lewis is round the final corner. Got a bit of contact there with Jabraka. And yet again, Jabraka may have been involved in an incident. And the same place where 4 drivers have DNF'd. And apparently it's because of a bump. Well then, Lewis in the background. And Cameron on the inside of Vlokken. Moving into third, and he isn't giving up, this Mercedes driver, and he makes the move into third place. The action is still kicking off in today's race then. Coming up, keeping up the pace, but he's got to watch out. Vlokken isn't a guy to run away from. He has the pace, he's got plenty of ERS to burn, but if I was him, I would have picked when the safety car come out and guarantee points, because he isn't guaranteed points right now. Obviously there's not laps left, but his tyres could pop any minute. Look at the grip difference. And oh my god, now Murad's hitting Vlokken in the back because of the grip. That's how slow Vlokken is right now. I'm guessing he's around about 2, almost 3 seconds slower compared to the fresh inters. It's just a joke how slow he is. Especially in that S section alone. Because already, look, Cameron's already pulled almost 7/10. I'm going to say roughly a lap, it's going to be 1.8 to 2 at least. Here comes Murad though. He's getting hungry. Potential move. Is he going to go for it? Nope, he stays behind. He's going to be smart, not risk it for the inside. Oh, don't take him out, whatever you do. You don't want to get a penalty. Oh, the action is still kicking off. We're going to be starting lap number 25 very shortly. Snipes moves into 10th. Zane drops to 11th. Alex Murad still trying his best with Vlokken. Vlokken in 4th, 24 laps on intermediates is a joke, and he's still 4th. Nobody can get past him at the background right now. The top 3 are just pulling away. Maybe I was a bit over exaggerating the pace difference compared to Vlokken and Cameron up ahead, because the gap stabilised on 1.6. But it just looks like in the S section he's just got no trust at the back end of the tyres. There's no grip. He's got to take it so slow. Alex gets right on his back end. Now the thing is, Alex can just push and push and push with these tyres because they're basically still fresh. They're going to be fresh for another couple of laps. There's yellows in the background. That is Curtis. He's bottled it again, and he's definitely not scoring points today. Cameron doing a great job in 3rd. Pulling away, keeping up with 2nd and 1st place with Marlon and Friends. It's going to be starting lap 26 very shortly. And Vlokken is holding up a train. We've got to go on board with Jax right now, though. There's a massive fight here. Jax, Nick going side by side. Nick drops to the back of him again. Oh, there's a Red Bull going off the track there. That is Snipes in the background. And trying to make a move on the McLaren. And look at the train. Oh, Alex remains not very stable, but Vlokken right now, he's got to defend for his life right now. 25 laps on intermediates. It is a joke right now. What is happening in this race? The Williams of Alex trying to make a move, trying to find just one little gap, one little error from the Merc, and to get past. But he just can't see it. Oh, tried it then and almost lose the rear end. He's now starting to struggle to grip, it looks like, trying to push the tyres as much as he can as on lap 26 of the penultimate lap of this race. Just can't find the line, trying to find a hole Is it going to be on the right side? Could it be on the left? He's just trying to think, to find a way through the murk. Just look at the grip difference in the braking zone as well. He's got to make a risky overtake to make this work. He has to send it. And I think the answer, yes, he does. But Verlocken, very smart there. This is where the TNR drivers come into play. Very good at defending. But has he got it round the outside? And the answer is no. Alex has got the pace. And he is through. And Verlocken drops to 5th. Now, has the floodgates open? We've seen this before where drivers have been overtaken in this tier. One driver overtakes them, and then everybody overtakes them. Has Verlocken now in trouble? Is he in trouble by Jabraka? Is he in trouble by Jax, Nick, Hershey, Snipes? I think the answer could be yes. We're on the last lap very shortly. The last lap. Marlon coming into the chicane right now. We're going to stay on board and fight for Verlocken, as this is the only fight we have. Jabraka really picking up the heat. We're about to start lap number 27. And the final lap has begun then to Japan. Verlocken then under a bit of pressure right now. He's got Jabraka all over him. We're just on a rear view of the Mercedes right now. Just look at the grip. Yet again, Jabraka all over him. Trying to get a good line just so he can get really close to possibly make a dive into the hairpin. Like Nick's doing on Jackson. Lewis got another 3 second then as well. The only way he can score points is before these guys crash. And yeah, look at the grip. Jabraka is all over him. He's going to go for a potential dive for Verlocken defends, but Jabraka expected it. Oh, scratch that. Jabraka is off in the grass. He's lawnmowing the track at the moment, and well, that's made a massive mistake. And Nick and Hershey are going side by side up ahead. But right now, we've got to go aboard with the action at the front. Marlon, does he have the fastest lap? And that is a yes. Snipes is out though round. Him and Zane, Jabraka and Zane around. Lewis could get a point. Marlon, though, has got the fastest lap. Has he got the victory? And the answer is yes, he has. He's taken the victory at Japan, and he takes the championship point lead today. Florence takes second, and Cameron Young takes third position with a 38 flat. What a drive from Cameron, with Alex in fourth, Jackson fifth. Nick then to the line with for the finish from McLaren sixth. It goes Hershey. Nick seventh. Snipes then will finish in eighth. Could have had a win, but it ended in disappointment for today. Zane then will scrape some points in ninth. Jabraka in 10th. Verlocken then did make an error. His car must have given up on him. I think he's got actually a puncture, to be honest. But he finishes in 11th with Lewis Curtis running off the grid in 12th. But what a race indeed at Japan. And drive there from Jax. I would agree, but I've got to give it to Cameron. You know, he's had 4 DNFs and he's come back today very strong, very hungry for some points, and he's third place. But the man who's the new leader of the championship, I do believe my maths calculations are correct, it's Marlon, and it's his second victory, and he takes the fastest lap as well. He's got to be happy with that victory today, with Florence in second, and Cameron Young, the Haas, and now scoring podiums. I believe Edward scored podium extra last week. Cameron scored one this week. What a drive for the Haas team, and they've got to be happy as well. But Marlon, man to watch out for. Shane has now got a contender to worry about, a threat for this championship of his. And the champagne is spread then. Mercedes back up at top. But what a race today, as my voice is now starting to go. Marlon then takes the win with a 137.9. Actually, he doesn't take the championship points lead, actually. Alex takes the fastest lap point at the end. So Marlon and Shane are actually tying then. So Marlon wins. Fred in second. Cameron third place. Alex in fourth. Jackson fifth. Hershey in sixth. Good result. Nick seventh. Snipes eighth. Zane in ninth. And Jabraka takes 10th. Verlocken tried the strategy. Didn't make it work. Finished in 11th. Lewis just bottled it a lot today, as he usually does, in 12th. Shane, Edward, Tito, Brand, Fruitful, Davey, all DNF from today's race today. Well then, I have been your commentator, Aaron Neon, or as Jared Fosbury. Obviously, I haven't been joined in the booth by the OAP, Mr. Sondra Sohaug. Hopefully he'll be back for the next round. But what a race today. And what a fight now we have for the championship between Marlon and Shane. Possibly Ferenc as well, and potentially Lickle, Velokin as well, also could be contenders near the end of the season. But we have to wait for the next round. But until then, I'll see you guys then. Goodbye for now.